and welcome to episode 18 of Duck-Sized Horses, the comedy podcast that answers all of the questions we hope that you've wanted answered. I'm Jack Higgins.
I'm Nathan Harat.
And you join us for another thrilling instalment.
Yes.
So buckle up, because
Absolutely.
today we're going in hard and heavy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you indeed. Should I do some more thank yous?
Why not?
Smooth. So as Jack said, you join us for a kind of grudge match because it's 9-all.
It is.
And one of us, or both of us, could end up in double figures this evening. So before we crack on with this month's question, and we'll talk about it in a bit, just some thank yous. Thank you to everyone that's got in touch. Thank you to everyone who's listened. There have been some people at my work who have listened, and I'm very grateful to them. And anyone else who's listened, we're always grateful. Thank you to those people who've got involved in the competition. Someone has, and we'll crack on with that a bit later, won't we? We'll tell you what they've done. And just, as I say before, Jack heads to the polls and reads the question. Just a reminder of the scores, and I kind of gave a clue earlier, but it is currently Jack Higgins 9 episodes, Nathan Harat 9 episodes, so it is a dead heat.
This is what they call a 3-pointer.
It is, even though there's only a point on offer, but still, it's very exciting. So before we hear our answers, Jack, you need to do some poll magic, please,
We are going to do some poll magic, and it's been an interesting time on Twitter this week. So earlier on, and as we do at the start of the week leading up to every episode recording, we put the question out to you. So you can see these questions if you find our Facebook page or if you find our Twitter pages, which we'll give you the details for in a little moment's time. You can see our questions and you can vote on the online polls. So, the question this week... Month. The question this month is all about spelling.
It is.
And the question is as follows. He says, stalling for time whilst he opens up the Twitter app.
Whilst you do that, shall I do the thank you that I forgot to say?
Yes, do it.
So this question was sent in by my mother. So thank you to my mum for sending in that question. You have a signed rubber duck.
These ducks are
On your
never
way
going to
to
leave
you.
the house.
They're not. Although they're getting quite low. I
We
reckon
are.
we've got a quarter left.
So, yeah, maybe that might be a little good point to plug later on.
Yeah, bit of an incentive.
The ducks are running out. If you want to get your hands on one of the final first batch.
Yeah, until we get another batch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Makes them sound less limited.
Sorry, they are limited. This batch is limited.
Yeah, limited edition ducks.
Until the next batch.
Until the next
But
ones.
still.
So, the question is, would you rather have bad spellers immediately fined? So, you see a spelling mistake, that person immediately gets a fine?
Yep.
Or have people spell things however they like?
Oh, it's a good question. And
So
I'm not just saying that because it's from my mum.
It's kind of, it's pedantry
Yes,
versus just a complete free-for-all.
absolutely.
And people have voted for pedantry.
Have they?
Yeah, they want bad spellers punished on Twitter.
Oh.
60% of people would like to see bad spellers punished, whilst 40% of people are just quite happy for people to spell whatever they want to spell.
Yeah.
Similar story on Facebook as well.
Right.
People, 70% of people on Facebook
Wow.
want bad spellers punished. So it's obviously a big sticking point.
It is. Yeah, crikey.
So we're about to see where we're stuck.
Yeah,
So,
here we go.
Nathan, floor is your question. The question is on the floor.
Thank you.
Would you rather
Yeah.
have... I don't know what I said.
I don't
then.
know. You said stuff about floors and...
I think I'm moving house soon, so I've got a carpet
You
on
are,
my
yeah.
brain.
You have got carpet on the brain.
But perhaps my brain is carpet.
I couldn't possibly comment
No.
on air.
Nathan,
Yes, mate.
would you rather have bad spellers immediately fined and punished?
Yeah.
Or would you rather have people spell things however they like?
So I've gone for the fining,
Oh.
which I feel,
have you?
I feel like I've gone with the sort of popular vote again,
Yeah.
which is very unusual. I don't like being popular. It feels weird.
So crucially, for
Yes.
this grudge match, then
Yeah.
I feel like we should get my answer out on the
Yeah,
tables
go on
as
then.
well.
You go soon.
I've gone the other way.
Have
so
you?
It's a proper
I'm
grudge match
quite
this time
pleased
round.
with that, not because of the popularity sort of spectrum, but just because I think it's always more interesting when we disagree.
Yeah, it's rubber. If the episodes where we do agree, you can just skip those.
Yeah, just ignore them.
Yeah, please don't
But-
listen to all of them.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Just listen to them if you can.
So I'm intrigued now, though. But
Yeah.
why have you gone with?
The fining.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone with it because I thought it would be more kind of possible that after a kind of exposure to this fine structure system, you could establish correct spelling across the board. Because I feel like once a few of these fines have been handed out, more people will think, "Oh, I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to pay."
So you're
Pay a
kind of
fine.
thinking of like an improvement kind of thing.
I think so. Like
almost like a deterrent.
yeah, it would encourage people to spell correctly because they'd be fined. But I've got here in my scrawly handwriting. I'm probably not the best.
I hope
It's
spelled
probably
properly.
spelt wrong. Yeah. How many S's are there in misspelling? Still, yeah. I've got here that I would set the fine at a fairly low but sensible scale. So because it would be tempting to be like, right, okay, that's a £5,000 fine, but that's going to put so many people's backs up.
True.
Whereas I think if I was thinking like a tenner.
Okay.
So a £10 fine, it's not so much that you don't want to pay it
Right.
out of kind of extortion, but it's not so little that you think, well, I'm not going to bother paying it. It's quite a nice. Most people can afford £10, I think.
Yeah,
I feel like a
I'd say-
politician that's really out of touch with the,
would you
the community.
not increase the fine for worse mistakes?
Oh, I didn't think about that. No, I think I would start initially maybe for like a 6-month trial period at £10,
Mm-hmm.
and then if it was like, say they were, I don't know, writing a swear word and they misspelt that,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe the fee would go up
Okay.
on an expletive basis. But I think if it was like not using a capital letter at the start of a country or start of a name,
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't find that. I'd
No.
flag it. I'd have some kind of flag system, so you get like 3 flags and then the fine.
Yeah, but then if you're going down that route, you can't really sort of miss out people who are missing off capital letters. And
No,
things,
that's true.
because
that is
then an entire nation becomes a brand of furniture cleaner.
Yes, that's very true. That's
I'll
very true.
leave you to work that one out.
Yeah, come back to me on that.
It's Polish and Polish.
Thanks, mate. I was thinking Sweden because of IKEA.
that popular cleaning product.
I'm not very smart. But also, I was thinking, I wouldn't, and this is going to sound a bit controversial maybe, but I would have people with dyslexia maybe exempt from the fines because I think that's unfair to fine them.
Yeah, true.
But I've been thinking all day how to word that without sounding incredibly offensive, so I hope I've got away with it there.
No, I think I'd say that was fair.
'Cause I would hate to offend anybody.
But then
So
I think if I'm gonna drop some politics on it.
here we
now,
go.
just to keep things nice and
Keep things
cheery.
entertaining.
Yeah. All right. What if the current UK government are in charge of this fining process?
Yeah.
And people have got dyslexia,
Okay.
and quite rightly they may accidentally make some mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not their fault.
No, of course it isn't.
I can't see our current government being too
Lenient on
yeah,
it.
or really kind of helping them out. They kind of don't like helping people.
No, that's
too
very
much.
true. That's very true.
So I think you could fall into the wrong hands a little bit there.
I could, but then to counter that, I would not make it a government-run fining.
Okay.
So I would be in charge.
Oh, so
of
it's
the-
kind
so
of
I would take. I was thinking like when
you'd get the fine money then.
I didn't think that far, but like I was thinking along the lines of the dyslexia thing. That I would personally, if they were fined, I would pay their fines off.
Ah, okay.
So they'd be exempt from the fines. They'd still get them, but they would never pay them. I would pay them.
Oh, I see. So, but you pay those with the fines that other people.
Yeah,
had,
so
had
their
made.
money, a bit, I suppose, a bit like a tax thing.
Oh, okay.
So people's
All right.
fines money would go to the exempting payment of.
That sounds a lot fairer.
This has become like daily politics, hasn't
It
it? But
has,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. So that money would be in some kind of pot that would go back into.
But you'd need like a little bit of a reserve
Yeah,
back
like
to begin with.
a budget to
Yeah.
spend on promoting spelling and good
Mhm.
spelling.
Because surely at some point you'd end up with a bit of a loss there.
I suppose when
If
you
you
first
keep paying it out.
first start, maybe
Fair enough.
you know.
It's like a nice little incentive scheme.
Exactly.
So not quite a deterrent.
More
of
like
an
an
incentive.
incentive scheme.
Do you reckon people would spell badly on purpose to?
What, to get a fine?
Yeah, no, but like to contribute almost to charity in a way.
Oh yeah, maybe. I suppose that's true. If you're thinking, I don't know who to donate to with birthday money or something, you could just
Right,
pen a really poorly spelt poem and
hoppy birthday in a card
nice.
instead, and then
Nice.
that's 20 quid there because that's 2 words spelt wrong.
That's true. See, you're buying into this system.
Yeah, okay.
It's got its pros.
I can see the merits.
True. It has got its cons though.
Yeah.
'Cause
Also,
I just feel like, I don't know, maybe fining, as I say, would put people off slightly.
what? So you say there's be like an introductory tenor.
Yeah.
What if it was on like a really critical kind of document or something like
Oh yeah, that would probably.
like a birth certificate
Yeah, that would probably incur a slightly bigger
and
fee.
say I don't know, your name got wrote down wrong. Your mum wanted to call you Jack, but the register had spelt it like floorboard or something.
Yeah.
As commonly
yeah.
that happens.
Has that happened much to you, Jack? Have you often been called floorboard?
Wow, depends. But the I don't know. I feel like if it's more important, there needs to be more of a fine.
I suppose if it's like something that is going to be seen by lots of people, so like a building,
Hmm.
I don't know what you call it, sign on a building. I do know what you call it. The kind of
A sign.
Yeah, a sign. There you go. So if it was like a sign or footballers' t-shirts or something like that, something that's going to be seen
Mm-hmm.
by people, maybe the fine would go up, but no more than £50, I think.
So you're running the scheme.
I am running the scheme.
Who would you employ people to would you employ like spotters?
Yes, I would have to because I'm awful at spelling.
I see.
So I would have to employ people that are much smarter and much more academic than myself.
What if someone couldn't pay the fine? Would they have to go to like a debtor's jail? Are those still a thing? That sounds quite a Victorian
It
thing.
does,
isn't it?
yeah. I don't know if there's a
jail.
debtor's jail. I feel like there should be some kind of way. I feel like there should be a chance for them to.
Like a speeding fine.
Yeah,
kind
a
of
bit like
thing.
a fine. Maybe they
Do a
can
course.
They can do a course on spelling, or like Jolly Phonics. Do you remember that from
No.
primary? That
Jolly
was it was a big part of my life.
I tell you what, I'd struggle to spell that. If
Yeah, me
someone asked
too.
it.
But that kind of taught you the basics of spelling, and you get a whole set of books, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. Write in and tell me.
Okay.
Not you.
Well, you looked directly
I
at
looked
me.
at
and I
you
was
because you're the only person here that I can look at.
fine.
But yeah, so anyway, they were like a collection of books that would have like A for whatever starts with A and that kind of thing. So maybe like read them,
Mhm.
a bit of kind of revision, and then I guess a sort of 3 strikes system.
I get it.
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
I'm thinking.
Right. See, I'm fairly against the whole fining
Are
thing.
you?
It's been a difficult decision to make
Yeah.
because I bad spelling winds me up no end.
Does it?
If I get an email that's come through and it's spelt badly or poorly worded,
Yeah.
then it gets my back right up.
It's a wonder we still speak, to be
It
honest,
is,
mate, because
yeah.
my texts are awfully worded.
But I look and I'm like, how this is a really important thing.
yeah.
So I'd like to see fines put on people, but then I feel like I'd kind of I press the side of that laptop there
Messing
and the
about
thing-
with the
yeah. I'd like to see fines put on people that I maybe disagreed with, but I knew who were bad spellers, so I'd almost kind of goad them out.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd like
No.
to see that quality in myself. So yeah, there's that, but then I felt bad as well because sometimes you do just genuinely make a mistake.
Yeah.
And the worst mistakes that can happen are when people are using like predictive text.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And whose fault is it then if it's done just by a machine?
That's
just
true.
Gone, oh, sorry, you obviously meant to spell the word duck-sized horses
Yeah.
and not something else.
Yeah.
Because
That's a whole different podcast,
yeah.
that one.
I've been, well, let's put it this way, I probably would have had a few fines coming my way if I have not proofread.
No.
But maybe that's the thing. Maybe the fine comes with proofreading.
We'd be recording this from prison, I imagine, if...
In debtor's jail.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon? Who would get the fine if...
For predictive text, I feel, or sort of word prediction like you've got on tablets and stuff, I feel like it would be the company that made that program.
Oh, so like,
that are at fault.
Samsung would have to foot the bill
Yeah.
because it's fair.
Yeah.
But so they'd
Or
let you off for
Google
not
or whatever.
proofreading it properly.
I think so. I think they would be fined more than you, maybe like a bit part fine. So you'd get a little, because you're the user, you'd get maybe £5,
Oh, okay.
but they'd get the bulk of it because it's their problem.
All right. Okay. That's a start.
That is, yeah.
But I think I've got one to hit you crucially now. So your name's Nathan Harat.
Yes. Thank you for knowing that 18 episodes in.
Good. I'm learning.
10 years of friendship.
Every day's a school day. Predictive text can sometimes cause havoc with your last name.
It can,
can't
yeah. I've been heart for a long time.
So and how much has that wound you up?
It winds me up a lot, but
Nathan
I suppose
Hart.
I've got used to it. You kind of just get used to being Nathan Hart on things.
But what if people could just spell that any way you wanted to? Would that annoy you more? Would you like people to be called out and be connected?
That's a really good question, because part of me would be quite annoyed, because Harat's not that difficult a name to spell, I don't think.
It's just the R and the A the other way around.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I suppose you could break it down to like Herat.
It's the capital of Afghanistan as well. So
it is, which I've had mentioned quite a lot in my lifetime. But I'm also like, as much as that winds me up, I'm also like, there's a sense of anticipation as I'd love to see where people go with that. How they spell it.
Yeah.
Or misspell it, I should say.
I had a letter come through once, and my last name was Hignins.
Hignins.
Sounded like a Beatrix Potter character.
It does, yeah.
Mr. Hignins.
Hignins.
Yeah.
What kind of animal would Hignins be?
Because
Beatrix Potter is like ducks and rabbits and
maybe
what's a
like
Hignins?
like a little billy goat or something.
A billy goat.
Yeah,
Mr.
like,
Hignins the billy goat.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That.
Well, sign us up. Put us in a book. But like, if people were allowed to spell whichever way they wanted to,
Yeah.
You'd get less stressed out, especially if there was something. If you've been writing something sometimes and you've turned around to someone and gone, oh, how do you spell this?
Yeah.
And the other person's kind of just shrugged.
Yeah.
And then you're both on the spot. That being
True.
both on the spot wouldn't be there. You could just type something out.
True.
But then I don't know where to draw the line with it, really.
Well, I was going to sort of counteract that with this point. It would make the world of teaching quite difficult because, and teaching assistanting, that's not a word, but still, it would make my job quite difficult, because how would I be able to help kids with their spelling if there's not a set way to spell things?
That's true.
Because they'd be like, so how do you spell, I don't know, cat or something? Or maybe a more complicated word than that. If it was cat, I'd be like, you could probably do that, mate.
Catalyst.
Yeah, nice. And if I say, oh, actually, it's,
But what if it was like roughly within the error? So maybe
like a ballpark.
Yeah, maybe not just a made up scramble of letters.
That's
so
true.
You
Yeah.
kind of knew what it was saying.
So it would you'd still have to like adhere to the alphabet and stuff. You couldn't just put any old scrawl and be like, well, that says.
Yeah, that says doctor, and you're like, no, it doesn't. It's got 7 G's in it.
7 G's and a smiley face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there would have to be some kind of guidelines.
Yeah. So like, let's say catalyst again. So instead of a Y, it would be like an I.
Okay. So you'd have like a list of acceptable.
Yeah.
Kind of outcomes for that.
So
word.
things that like you'd get pulled up on.
Yeah.
Occasionally, so you'd be like, oh, that's not how you spell that. I was like,
yeah.
Use your head. You'd sort of just say, oh, of course, I understand what they mean.
Yeah.
Just because you'd read the whole context.
You'd give them kind of benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Would punctuation come into that too?
I feel like it has to.
Yeah. Would that be a fine on punctuation?
I
or
think
misuse
so.
and
or
lack of?
I think. Oh, I don't know. You have a fine, man. Would you put a fine on it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's that thing, if you've seen it, so where you put a comma, it's like there's a difference between helping your Uncle Jack off of a horse or helping your Uncle Jack off a horse.
Yeah.
And there's two very different meanings depending on where you put that comma.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know.
No. Maybe that would be like we're saying, maybe that would be a flag, the punctuation. And you'd have a set amount of days to correct that, and if you didn't, you'd be fined.
I don't know.
No, I don't know. That's maybe
It's a tricky one.
punctuation is a bit. Maybe that's a whole.
I think that's a different thing. I think we're just still on spelling.
I think it's more spelling, isn't it?
I think it makes spelling bees a lot more interesting.
That's
though,
true.
Or dull. I've never really. Are spelling bees a thing here?
I don't know if they're as popular here as they are wherever they're popular. It's a more American thing, isn't it? A spelling bee.
Yeah, it'd make it like everybody would be a winner because you could just get up and be like, right, how do you spell Albuquerque? And someone would get up and say ABKERKY.
They could, yeah.
And then
I mean, they've thrown that, haven't they? They've not even tried.
No. But then you'd go, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if I could spell Albuquerque off the top of my head.
No, me neither. There's an L in there somewhere.
ALB.
Is there a Q in it?
Yeah. Here's one, man. So
Here we
Q.
go. Yeah.
So
Q.
Q.
Yeah.
How do you spell Q?
It depends on what Q it is. If it's a snooker Q, I'm going
Then you'd
CUE.
then you'd need the context, right? So
Yeah.
you could just spell it whichever way you wanted to.
True, yeah.
So you could say, oh, there was a queue at the bus stop, and someone could write it down CUE. And
What a story.
Yeah, and you'd be like, the pedant in you would be like, find that person now.
yeah.
Whereas the nicer, more gentle,
Soft
forgiving person
Yeah.
would be like, oh, I understand what they mean.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. I suppose what we could establish is if the misspelling doesn't affect the flow of the reading, you could probably get away with it. So that Q spelt, CUE instead of the proper way, doesn't really affect the flow of you, as you say, there's a queue at the bus stop. With the CUE, it doesn't affect the flow. It's when a misspelling would affect the flow of the reading. That I can't think of an example to back up my point, which is actually annoying me.
That's fine. I know what you mean. I think everybody knows what you mean.
Good.
We're all on the same page. As long as the it hasn't upset the flow of your thinking.
I don't know. I don't think my thinking has ever flown, to be honest.
So yeah, I think I don't know. I think we're kind of settling on a kind of weird middle ground.
Yeah, this is an uncomfortable place to be.
I feel like one of us should fire through with like a never.
I feel like there's a last point that we could make.
So here's my final tidbit then. Tidbit. How you'd spell that or even pronounce that.
Yeah. Point.
So Welsh towns like Llanfair, something.
Sorry to any Welsh people that are listening.
That town with a silly long name.
Yeah.
Everybody has
I know the one you mean. I do know the one you mean.
You could spell that any which way you wanted to, but no one really has fun in the spelling of it. It's more about trying to pronounce it.
That's very true.
So if you could spell it any which way you want to, I'm sure the person who named the town probably did that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They were like, wow, I'll just keep writing until someone takes this piece of paper away from me.
That's a good point.
Everybody just remembers the bit.
They do, yeah.
And Llanfair.
Yeah.
So you could, like little funny towns like that. There's like a place in Hawaii that's got like 54 letters in it.
Woo.
There's a village in the Cotswolds.
Oh yeah.
As well, which has got quite a nice simple name and spelling. It's just the village of Ham.
Nice.
So
I think I've driven through there.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about it.
Lovely little just village in the sticks, really.
Yeah. It was nice. Sort of Castle Coombe area, I think, if I remember rightly.
I got no idea.
Well, you brought it up. Yeah, I see what you mean. Would this spelling fines only apply to the English language? That's the question, isn't it?
I think.
Or are we rolling this out? I say we.
I
Is
think
it being rolled out universally?
It would have to apply to everyone. Everyone would have to have their own sort of
Version.
internal ministry.
Yeah. Ministry
were.
of Spelling.
Because with the best will in the world, I don't think I could really pull people up for sort of spelling badly in Cantonese or
No.
Arabic or like pretty much any other language
Yeah.
apart from English or Spanish. I
Yeah.
think I'd be pretty useless at it, going, well, that's not spelled how it should be.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
So yeah, everybody would have to look after your own.
Your own
And
language.
spelling.
It would be. Would there be some kind of like EU type or UN type federation for global spelling, or would everyone just keep themselves to themselves? In this world of Brexit, would we?
What would happen if someone wanted to make a new word though?
I reckon.
You know when they add new words to the dictionary.
Yeah, I reckon there'd be a panel, like a global panel.
And you'd kind of agree,
Representative from
okay,
each
this
country.
is how it's going to be spelled.
You pitch it, similar to Dragon's Den, of course, for 20% of the
Mm-hmm.
global usage, because that's always on Dragon's Den. But I think you pitch it, and you'd come in with a bit of context or an example of how this new word could be used,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would go to a vote,
All right.
and then you take it from there. Either it's in or it's not in.
Okay. There we go. Well,
There we are.
that's
That's that sorted.
right. Well, we've cleared that up.
Yeah,
I really don't know. I think
it's a tricky one, isn't it?
as much as I quite like the sort of more genteel nature of things,
Yeah,
I still in the back of my head I still kind of quite like being a pedant when it comes to
picking people up.
yeah.
On it, yeah.
Right. Mate, just spell what you know what you mean. Just spell it properly.
Yeah.
Stop being a fool.
Exactly.
So I think I'm gonna have to side with you
Are
on
you
this
yielding?
one. Yeah, I'm yielding.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, tricky.
That was difficult. Fair play.
That was a
Fair play.
a very tricky question.
I do feel I've worked for that.
We've worked really hard over the past month, the pair of us as well. And I don't think either of us have really thought out strong enough answers.
No, not really. But I'm taking the point now. It's written
At least
down.
it's not me. Oh, yeah, it's on the paper now. I can't go back.
How do you spell 10? Nice, 10-9. I'm quite happy with that.
There we go. Right, let's move on to our competitions.
Let's.
So, superb entry this month by Mark, who sent us in a picture, or it was a video. So I had to do a little screenshot of a video from Snapchat of a duck on a mug.
Yes, brilliant.
Which duck are you today? I've tried to snapshot it on my favourite one, which is kind of like a duck looking a little bit squashed and
It was, yeah.
sort of, like curled up. Is that looking quite cute? So
It was quite a cute picture.
So well done, Mark. You've got a signed duck on its way to you.
You have.
Who's it signed by?
It's signed by me.
And it's signed by me.
Wonderful.
And we've also got a signed rubber duck on the way to your mum
We
as
have.
well. And who's that one signed by?
It's signed by me.
And it's signed by me.
It's hence a theme, sir. I like how you said on your way, this is going to be the shortest journey by a rubber duck.
You could hide it somewhere in
That's true.
in Duck Sized Horses headquarters. And
True.
then
See if she ever finds it.
make a little kind of like treasure hunt.
That's not a bad idea.
It's something to do on a rainy day.
True. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to do that.
Yeah.
I won't, but I'm tempted to do.
So if you'd like to win a rubber duck, you can sign rubber duck. You can send us a photo or a video
Yep.
to our various different ways of communicating with us. What are they, Nathan?
Yes, and also we should say after last month where we looked at ducks.org,
Mm-hmm.
we also have branched out into you can send us pictures of waterfowl,
Mm-hmm.
so geese.
Soon, I'm pretty sure
Swans.
it's going to be just send us a
Yeah,
photo.
you can just send us a photo of anything. No,
Yeah.
of course you can. So as we said, waterfowl, so geese, swans. I can't think of an equivalent for horses. There's not water horses.
A
but-
chicken in a puddle.
Nice. Living the dream. But yeah, and we're not fussy, are we? We've
No.
accepted toilet duck, clothes horses, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, once you've got that picture, you can send them to us at Twitter at DSH Podcast. Our Facebook page is Duck Sized Horses. You can email them to ducksizedhorsespodcast@gmail.com. Those contact details that I've just given you apply to getting in touch, just generally, if you want to make us aware of any duck or horse related, or both, related stories or anything. We also talked about sending us duck or horse-related jokes
Mhm.
as part of the competition. Also, while you're on your devices, do check out our website, www.ducksizedhorsespodcast.com. You'll find all the previous episodes, so you can catch up if you've ever missed any. There'll be the picture of Mark's competition entrant if you're wanting to get a bit of inspiration. And as I say, you can just use it to catch up on episodes.
Mhm.
There's a little write-up about me and Jack if this is your first episode. If it is, welcome. Thank you for
Thanks for sticking around.
missing the entire
Yeah.
17 to this point.
Don't listen to the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get in touch and send us your questions
Yes.
on there as well.
Do.
So just like Nathan's mum's done, and many others in the past have done.
Yes.
You can send us in your questions, and that will win you a rubber duck as well.
It will, and it'll go into our spreadsheet of Wonder, and each month it spits out a new question. We've got loads, haven't we?
Mhm.
But we're always adding, and it's always exciting because we don't know what question obviously is going to come up. So yeah, they're basically just get involved. We do love hearing from you, don't we, Jack? I know I say it all the time.
We
but
do.
It is great.
We do.
It's really great.
So that about brings us to a close.
It does.
We're off to go and
Proofread
proofread some things, and hopefully earn some cash.
Absolutely.
This podcast is part of BritPod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritPodScene.com or BritPod Scene on Twitter to find out more.